Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I will talk you through a game which I played in the Kleber Legendary tier destroyer. The Kleber is a pretty specific destroyer which has a super concealment or speed concealment if you make use of that. What this is, let me explain. I use Mr. Auberneau as a captain, and obviously I do a full torpedo build on the Kleber. Kleber can be run as a gunboat, but I preferably run it as a torpedo boat. So you can see perk number 1 and 3 is on torpedo reload and range extender, so you get 7 kilometer instead of 6 kilometer range, and you have an under 60-second reload. And then I go for speed, which is the force perk, and you can see the second inspiration gives me additional 5% speed boost, which will enable you within 7.5 kilometer of an enemy ship to speed up to 64 knots. So this is incredible high speed if you want to suicide rush an enemy ship or if you want to get away from an enemy ship. And then the most important perk here is the second perk, the rightmost, which I chose. And this enables you to get a 20% improved concealment while you activate the speed boost. So the speed boost in this configuration will be running about 2.5 minutes. And during these 2.5 minutes, the concealment will drop from 5.7 kilometer to 4.6 it is. So you will be able to almost outspot every other destroyer during these 2.5 minutes. And then again, you have like 4 minutes for cooldown. So you run around with 5.7 kilometer concealment and you have to reposition and plan your next ambush. And then you make use of the speed concealment again. So you can see I have 5.7 kilometer concealment base and I had 50 knots speed. So if you add 20% to these 50 knots, you're above 60 knots while the speed boost is active, and you add another 10% while in range within 7.5 kilometer of an enemy ship, and you can end up at 65, even 50, 65, 66, which I haven't reached, but this is not the point. The point is to be as fast as possible with still acceptable concealment. So on this spawn, what I do is I utilize my speed with 60 knots. So I had a look at my enemy destroyers, and I'm opposing 2 Shimakaze and a Gearing, and both of them, the Shimakaze can reach about 46 knots and the Gearing 42, 43. So I'm much faster than the others, which helps me to position in the gap between these 2 islands to the right at the moment when I spot the enemy destroyer. So I'm ready to seek cover behind the island to the right, and I'm planning my ambush. So I'm expecting to undisclose the enemy destroyer any second. And there. So now I'm slowing down. I'm getting out my first shot. I'm dropping my torps into the water, and I guess the Shima isn't able to slow down fast enough, so he probably will catch a torpedo. If not, I have my reload booster for my guns and I will kill him with the guns. But in this activity I was successful. So the next step is to cap the A-cap and monitor the ship in A-spawn. Where did they move, the red ships? And as it looks, they might either go around or they stay back there. So I'm not going further out. I want to stay close to the B cap and to the center while I cap this and see how the game develops. So you can see a couple of ships have been spotted, especially the Kronstadt with 11.7 kilometer. Having said that, you should always know the range of enemy ships, of enemy radar ships, which range they have and what they can do, what the concealment of enemy destroyers is. So this game is a lot about statistics. So now the gearing popped up, and you could open up fire, but I don't do that because on 9 kilometer chances are pretty low I hit it, but I would undisclose my position and I would lose the cap. So it's just 2 more seconds. I want to finish the cap and then I'm going to move out. Little risk that I run into a battleship on my right hand side if he rushed in. But I'll take the risk because I have 2 sets of 3 torpedoes to my right hand side, and if he's there, he's a sure kill. So that would have been a good trade, 2 versus 1, if there was a battleship to my right immediately. But as it turns out, it is not, but the gearing is capping B, so I'm trying to catch the gearing. But the thing is, if you watched the ships to the south west, to the right of the B cap, there are 3-4 ships who can engage me once I open fire, and I have only 1 or 2 ships supporting me. So I need to use my reload booster, and I need to turn my back into the direction of the enemy ships and gain ground as fast as possible. So I get as far as 10 point something kilometer, which is further out than my gun range. So I immediately drop concealment, or I regain concealment from the Yamato when I left my gun range. Because my gun range is the maximum spotting range. The enemy can spot me if there's no spotter around. So once the gearing died, he was the spotter. The Yamato was too far out, namely further out than 11 kilometer. So immediately he lost sight on me, and I was safe here. So that's why I opened on the gearing. And now the next question is strategically, would you cap B? To cut a long story short, I don't, and I did not at this moment. Because my plan is, you see that singled out red battleship south of A. My aim is to sneak in between this Yamato and this red south of A. We have to see how they move and where they move. But by the time I get there, it's about 2 minutes. I have to operate with 5.7 kilometer concealment, so I can't be too close to them. And I have to carefully approach them. That's why I take the rightmost approach. I don't want to get the Kronstein the idea I'm coming back, because his 12 kilometer radar 11.7 will definitely spot me, because it will range at the far end of the B cap. So I would be in his range if he would trigger the radar. But lucky for me, I'm risking here that he's not triggering it because he thinks I moved out to the north, because he saw me driving there. So now I'm back, and I'm trying to stay as much to the right as possible, because I want to get the singled out battleship first before I then move south of the center island to go back. And I can use then the south island as a cover in case the Kronstein pops up the radar. So for now, you see my 2 blue ships left of A, and I was expecting them to kill the Montana, but obviously it took them a while to do anything. So I had to do it myself, and lucky for me, the Montana came a little closer to my torpedo range, and you can see I'm hardly losing my concealment. So it was 100 meters. I had to stop and reverse carefully, turn around and move out. So if the Montana continues on his parse, he's going to eat my torps. If my torpedoes miss, my 2 teammates have to kill it. So there's 1 destroyer and 1 battleship, and they have to deal with the ship. I'm focusing now on the Yamato and the Kronstadt next to it. But lucky for me, I got my 4 torpedo hits and I sank the battleship, so even better. And now the Yamato is behind that island, so I'm planning an ambush here, but a bit unlucky for me, the Yamato starts to move forward, and obviously he's not playing with the throttle forward-backward. I'm taking my speed concealment, by the way, now, so my concealment is down to 4.5 again, so I can get as close as 4.6. And obviously, if the Kronstadt would trigger the radar, I most probably will be dead immediately. But I'm releasing my torpedoes, and I'm aiming one. You saw that I slowed down with the second, and I was aiming it at the Kronstadt and the Yamato at a time, because I was also in range of the Kronstadt. And I'm adding a second set in case the Kronstadt gets back from the island. He might pick them up. So that is the reason why I moved, and now I'm moving straight away from the Kronstadt because his 12-kilometer radar 11.7 will radar me as soon as he sees the torpedoes. So I'm expecting the radar, and there it is. And you can see I'm already far, far out. So you have to prepare your ambushes, you have to prepare enemy reactions and pre-plan or plan ahead. And you see it takes him a while to turn his guns to get the shots out. And by the time the first set of shots reach me, my concealment is already back and I can move around. And now he lost his 20-second radar, and or 30-second, I think it is. I'm not sure, 20 or 30, but it doesn't matter. I have now about 3 minutes time to approach the Kronstadt and to kill it. He's now defenseless because, as far as I remember, there's no sonar in Kronstadt. So he's absolutely defenseless now, but there's another battleship to the right, and I decide before I go for the Kronstadt, I go for the battleship, help out my fellow DD there, because obviously they play this rosy game around the island, and I have 12 torpedoes about to be ready, so I prepare my ambush here. Already my speed concealment going, but I need to be careful. In 20 seconds my concealment will drop back to 5.7, and honestly in the game situation I forgot about that, so I will be spotted by the Republic, where initially I'm safely dropping all my torpedoes, and if I had my speed concealment going, if it would continue, he wouldn't be able to spot me because I'm still 5-point-something kilometers out, and yeah, I didn't realize my speed boost was over, but doesn't matter. I drop my torpedoes and I turn my back to him and I move my way out, and thanks to my very fast ship, I'm moving straight forward. The Republic had the guns to the wrong direction, so it takes him a while to face the guns into my direction. Secondaries kick off but my concealment is back now and I'm safe again, and lucky for me somebody else takes a shot in the Republic now, takes him out. If not, I would have come back and killed him. So what's left now? We have a Shimakaze left and we have the Kronstadt left. So let's see what we can do here. Of course, we would prefer to get a Kraken, so I don't mind which one. And I was thinking, okay, where's the Shima? And I saw the last position to the left, and suddenly there it pops up, and I put the island between the Kronstadt and me, so I focus on the Shima, release my torpedoes because the Shima is focusing on the battleship, and I open up with the front guns that don't wait for the back guns to come around, but obviously I need them, but I need to to reduce my silhouette, and now I'm turning back to get my back guns in position as soon as possible because the Shima is very low and we need only 2 salvos to get him down. So I'm waiting for the second salvo while my torpedoes hit him, and there is my Kraken. So, you know, I'm a greedy guy, and what is left is the Kronstadt. So I'm preparing a final ambush. We have 6 ships versus 2. So obviously the Kronstadt is gonna kill me if I do the ambush. I could have played it safe, load AP, wait here for the radar to be used and then ambush, but I didn't care for the radar. I was sure the radar would pop up any second, and you will see in 5 seconds that he pops it up. He knows I'm coming, he will take the shot, but my torpedoes will leave the torpedo launchers, and I will get my 6 kill on the Kronstadt, and I leave the last ship for the remaining team members. And yeah, that was basically it. Thanks you for watching this game. I hope you enjoyed this game, and yeah, I hope I could give you some ideas of how I think, how I approach a game, and maybe you can repeat some of that, and it makes you a better destroyer player. I'm looking forward to your feedback as usual. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Thank you and have a good time. See you out there. Bye bye.